Okay, so today we are going to be talking about box and whisker plots. We just did our math workshop, which was number 11. We are not numbering this. This is technically your homework assignment. But if our learning target says I can create a box and whisker plot, probably need to teach you what that is, all right? So this is our worksheet, guys. There is not enough room to do the work on here. So I've already asked you to get a piece of paper out. So hopefully we have our piece of paper out on our desk. All right, let's go ahead and set up our paper by writing the assignment name on the top left-hand corner, which is box and whisker plot worksheet. All right, over here on the right-hand side, please make sure you go ahead and put your name. Today's date is February 5th, 2018. All right, so box and whisker graphs are a little different. What they actually do is they help show how far apart my numbers are. All right, can someone remind me what vocabulary word tells me how my data is distributed? Okay? Range. What vocabulary word tells me how my numbers are spread apart? How the data is distributed, or describes the distribution of the data is the actual definition. What describes the distribution of the data? Katie? Measures of variation. So when we're doing these box and whisker plots, we're going to be using measures of variation. Measures of variation, which again is what helps us figure out how far apart things are. Like the inner quartile range. In order to find the inner quartile range, what do we have to know? The lower quartile and the upper quartile. So guys, when we're creating this, it has two pieces. We have the box, and then we're going to have two whiskers. Guys, they literally look like, if you think about like a cat, and they have their face, and then they have the whiskers going out to each side, right? So when we make this, guys, your box is going to be comprised of your LQ, your median, and your UQ. Then out to the side, you'll have a whisker. This is going to be your greatest amount. And then we're going to have a whisker over here that's going to be the least. All right, so you'll have your greatest number and your smallest number out to the side. All right, so hence, this is where it gets its word. You have your box, and then you have whiskers. All right. So we're going to start out by looking at number 1, and we're going to create it using, again, our median, our LQ or UQ, our smallest value, and our greatest value. But before I can do any of that, what was step 1 last week? It was also step 1 2 weeks ago. It's still going to be step 1. What is step 1, Emily? Put the numbers in order. So guys, for the first problem, I'm looking at these numbers right here. We're going to put them in order. So what number is going to be first, Gabriella? 11. And remember, after I write the number, I'm going to go ahead and mark it out over here so I know I've used it. 11, then what do we have? After 11, Emily? 12. So I'm going to mark out the 12 in front. All right, what's going to be after 12, Faith? 12. And then what do we have after 12? Cole, Blake? 13. After 13, Cole? 14. After 14, Gabrielle?
14.
Another 14. After 14, Emily? 14. So guys, as I look here, guys, that was a lot of 14s. Double check. Are there any more 14s?
No.
No, and it's really easy to see. The only number I have left is 16 and 18, and those will stay in that order. So I'm going to go ahead and write in 16 and then 18. 16 and then 18. All right, and just to make sure, I can mark this out. 16, 18. Have I marked out every number? Yes. Guys, always double check as well. I'm going to count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I'm going to count over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So not only have I marked them out to make sure I put them all down, I've also counted them. If you will do both of those techniques, you shouldn't leave any out, because I know pretty much every single person in here has missed a problem because they left a number out or they put one too many times. It has happened. It's really easy. It's happened to me. All right, so we want to make sure we're taking as many precautions as needed to not do that. All right. So if I look up here, guys, we're going to start with our box numbers first because they require the most work. LQ, median, UQ. What do I have to find first? Out of those three, my lower quartile, my median, and my upper quartile, what is the first thing I have to find? Thina? The median. Because remember, the LQ is from the lower half. The UQ is from the upper half. So I've got to find the median so I know where the half is. So what is my median going to be in this problem? What is my median going to be? Okay? 14. Which 14? This one? The first one, right? So if I go inside to the center, we end up at 14 in the middle. So guys, remember last week we talked about how we can make this an arrow because it's important, so we're going to kind of bring it out. All right, what number's in that arrow? 14, and that is my median. All right, so we have 14 as our median, and I'm going to kind of color that out. I'm going to mark it out so it doesn't distract me, because can this middle number be on the lower half? Can this middle number be on the upper half? No, we've taken it out completely. Okay, so now that we've got the median, we need to find the lower quartile, the median of the low side. What is that going to be, or how am I going to find it, Brandon?
You're going to add 12, and then divide by 2.
Excellent answer. So we said I have to add the 12s and divide by 2, because when I look in the center here, is there just one number in the middle? No, there are two. So what we're actually doing is we're not using those two numbers. We're finding what's in the middle of those two. So 12 plus 12 is 24. And we divide that by 2, which gives us 12. Which should kind of make sense. If I'm trying to find what's in between 12 and 12, can anything fit in the middle of 12 and 12? No, the only thing that could be there is a 12. All right, so what about over here? If I look at 14 and 16, all right, what number is in the middle of 14 and 16? 15. So I could write 15 because I know that, or we can double check by adding them up and dividing again. What's 14 plus 16 give me? 30. And then when I divide that by 2, what do we get? 15. So did that work? Okay. All right, so guys, those numbers I circled because those numbers are going to make my box. All right, the other numbers we said were important were the least value. What's the least value in this number list? 11. 11 is the smallest number. So 11 is my least. What number is my greatest? 18 is my greatest. All right. So now we're ready to make a number line. All right, so guys, unlike number lines before, we would put the dots on the line. Everything with a box and whisker plot actually just goes above it. So we're going to need to skip a little bit of space to do our graph. All right, so we're going to do our graph up above the line. So let's draw the line, leave a couple of spaces, and then there's my number line. All right. One of the frustrating things about making number lines is sometimes we're not sure how many space marks it needs. Okay, so I have a really cool trick that tells you exactly how many space marks you need. All right, so the way that we're going to do that is we're going to find the range. How do I find the range? Does anyone remember? The range. All right, so what we're actually, how do I find the range? Emily? Yeah, so we're going to do our biggest number, 18, minus 11. What does that give me? 7. So that gives me 7. Now, guys, that does not mean I need 7 space marks. So when I'm subtracting, that's actually eliminating one of my numbers that needs a space. So we're going to have to add one more to that. So we get 7 plus 1, which gives me 8 spaces. Can I have more than 8 spaces? Absolutely. Can I have less than 8 spaces? No, definitely not, okay? So when I'm doing my space marks up here, I'm going to make sure I have at least 8. I'll probably end up having more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 space marks, which is fine. You need at least 8. Give everyone a second to draw that out. Make sure you skip some space because we're going to have to put our graph on there. All right. What number do we want to start our number line at? All right, we can start at 9. I'm going to start it at 10. All right. If I only had 8, what would I have to start at? If I had only done 8 spaces, what would I have to start at? We'd have to start at 11. Okay? But we can start at 10. So we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Just use this for now. I know it's not erasable, but. All right. Now that I have my number line there, I've labeled everything, I'm ready to start graphing this.
Mine's just 17.
It has to get up to 18. All right. Did you have 8 space marks on there? Did you start at number 10 or 11?
I almost start at 10.
All right. I said, so mine had more than 8, so I was able to start at 10. If yours has exactly 8, it has to start at 11. Or you can just add one more to the end there. Okay. All right. So again, because mine had more than 8, I was able to start at 10. If I had done exactly 8, I would start at 11. Okay. All right. So now looking at this graph, let's do our box first. I think that's usually the easiest place to start. So where I have the number LQ12, I'm going to put a line because we're actually going to connect these all with a box. 14, my median, it's part of a box, so I'm not going to put a dot. I'm going to put a line. 15 is part of my box, so I'm going to put a line. Okay. And y'all can see where I have that blue line from where it's lined paper. That's a really good guide to make sure your lines are kind of in the same length and in a straight line. Because now what I'm going to do, guys, to make my box is I'm going to connect all the tops. And then I'm going to connect all the bottoms. Okay. So now I have a box that's split. So what that means for us, guys, when I look at this, from 12 to 13, this bottom half, so if I look at my LQ to my median, do you see how that has 2 spaces in between it? All right, so that's going to be a longer space. My other part, my median to my UQ, 14 to 15, that only has 1 space, doesn't it? So it's a shorter amount in the box. Now, guys, if I look at these boxes, while this box is bigger, does it actually have more numbers in it? No. See how it has 2 numbers in it, and then this one over here has 2 numbers in it? So this box is the same as this part. This box is the same as this box. Do they look like they're the same? No, but if I look up here at the information, there are 2 numbers in between my LQ and my median. There are 2 numbers in between my median and my UQ. Okay. All right, so now we need our whiskers. We have our box. Let's do our whiskers. So where's my smallest amount? At 11. Now, are we going to put a line there? No, we're going to put a dot. See up here in my example that kind of gave us a general idea of what to look for? We have a dot. And then I'm going to connect it to my box with a line, making a whisker. And then we're going to do the same thing with our greatest value, 18. We're going to put a dot. And then I'm going to connect it with a whisker. Okay. That's it. Ta-da! You just made a box and whisker. Tomorrow we're going to ask more questions about what information it tells you. For right now, we're just focusing on, can you put all the important points on there? All right. I also want us to recognize, do these all look like they're equal? No, that line, this box, and then that line, do they look equal? No, but are they equal? Yes, each of them have the same amount inside. So, with that said, what percent is each piece?
The numbers that are in between 25.
I'm sorry, what's that, Taylor? Brandon? 25, sorry. 25%, because remember, the whole thing is 100%, right? Well, if I've split it into 4 equal pieces, even though they don't look equal, this would be 25%, this would be 25%, 25%, and 25%. So how much is in the entire box, both parts of the box? How much is that going to be? What percentage is in the box, Faith? 50%. If I put the big box and the little box together, that's 50%. Okay? All right, let's look at another one, number 2. We'll do number 2 together. All right, step 1 says? Put them in order. So you go ahead and do that. Put them in order. So starting with that smallest number, which is 11. Again, every time I write a number, I'm going to come down here and mark it out. So 11, and then 12. And then it looks like we have 2 more down here, so I'm going to go ahead and write both of them in. So 12 and 12. Double check, are there any more 12s? So now we have 13, and there's one more 13. So now, no more 13s? So now we're at 14, then 16, and then 18. All right, all of them are marked out. Let's double check by counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right, now that I have them in order, what's the first thing that I should do? Now that I have them in order, what's the first thing that I should do? Lyric?
Draw a box.
All right. Whoop, we can't draw a box. We can't do any of the graph. We got to find all the numbers first. All right, what should I do next, Sarah Grace? Find the median. We got to find so when I'm looking up here, this is our goal to get it here, but we need all of these things. The least amount, that's easy to see. LQ, median, UQ, these are ones we have to find, and the greatest is easy to see. So we're going to start by finding the median. All right, so if I go to the center, going to the center of this, what do we end up with in the center? 13, that first 13. Okay. And again, I like to just make that one big arrow to bring it down and label that as my median. Okay. So we have our median. Now what do we need? Cannon, what do I need after my median? The LQ. Okay, so where's that going to be? In between those 12s. All right. So obviously, what's going to be the only number in between 12 and 12? 12, or we can double check by adding them, which 12 plus 12 is 24, divided by 2 is 12. So there's my LQ. All right, my UQ. Where's my UQ? Ava? Where's my UQ? In between 14 and 16. And what number is in between 14 and 16? What number is in the middle of 14 and 16? Kernan? 15. Or again, we can add them. 14 plus 16 is 30. Divide that by 2, which gives me 15 as my UQ. Okay, so we have our LQ, median, and UQ. What other important numbers do we need?
The greatest and least.
The greatest and the least. So 18 is my greatest. And 11 is my least. Okay. All right, so we need to do our number line. How am I going to find out how many spaces I need? The range. So what is my range here? 11 and 18. So 18 minus 11 is 7. Then we're going to add 1 to find out we need 8 spaces. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I only put 8 on there this time. Since I only have 8, what number do I have to start at? At 11. If you have 9, you could start at 10. All right. So we have 11, then 12, 13, 14. What number do I have to get up to? 18. All right. If you have extra marks, do you have to number them? Yes. If I had another mark here, in fact, I'll even write it in. If I have another mark there, I've got to put 19. You have to number each of your space marks. All right. Let's go ahead and do our box. Which numbers need lines to make the box? Kaylee, which numbers need lines to make the box? So the lower quartile, which is 12. So we'll put a line there. What else? The median, which is? All right, and then? Which is? So the upper quartile is 15. And now I can connect those, and that's going to give me my box for the box and whisker. All right, what other pieces do I need? I have the box, now I need the whiskers. Where are the whiskers going to come from? Mikayla, where am I going to get one of my whiskers from? 11, that's my smallest number, so I'm going to put a dot there, connect it to my box. So there's one of the whiskers. Where's my other whisker coming from, Annabella? 18. So we're going to put a dot there and connect our box. Excellent. Ta-da! We did it. Again, each piece is how much percent? 25%. Excellent. All right. So we'll do number 3 together, and then you'll finish the rest of it for homework. All right. So for number 3. First thing you got to do is put them in order. Does someone think they can do that relatively quickly? Faith, try it out.
32, 34, 36, 36, 37, 37, 38.
Wow, that was really, really fast. Like, Faith was way faster than me, so I'm just going to double check by counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I do have all of them there. All right, if I wanted to continue, I stopped Xing out at 36. I could come in. We did get both of them. We had 3 37s, and then I had 2 38s, so all of them are there. All right, excellent job, Faith. That was way fast. Okay. So now that Faith has all of our numbers in order for us, like Speedy Gonzalez, we got to find our middle number. We got to find that median. What's my median here, Candace? 37. That first 37 is my median. Okay. We have our median. What else do I need? I got my median. What else do I have to have? Marisol? After I get my median, now what do I need? My lower quartile, which is going to be?
34 and 36.
Between 34 and 36. What number is between 34 and 36? 35. Guys, if you just want to put 35, I'm fine with that. Or we can always add and divide by 2 still. All right, what about 30? What about my UQ? What about my upper quartile? Where am I getting the upper quartile from? Maya? Excellent. Now this one is a little bit harder to just say what number is in between, so I might want to add them together. 37 plus 38 is 75, and then we divide it by 2, and that gives us 37.5, which is our UQ. I know some of us are able to just figure that out. We know our decimals well enough to know 0.5 is in the middle. Some of us, it might benefit to just do the math and double check. All right, I still need 2 more amounts. What other values do I need to go on my box and whisker? Least and greatest. Very good, guys. Y'all are like on the ball here. Least and greatest. Right. How would I find out how many marks to put on my number line? Let's look at our range. So for the range, 38 minus 32 is 6, and then we add that 1, so we need 7 spaces. All right, number line. I'm going to skip a little bit of space. I need 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Since I have more spaces than I need, instead of starting at 32, let's start at 31. So 31 then 33, 34, 35. Y'all don't judge, but earlier today I started numbering this. 34, 32, 36, 36. Don't use those numbers. It was a bad idea. Be careful. Make sure we're numbering these by ones. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. That's as far as we needed to go, but do I need to put another number? Since I have an extra space, I've got to put 39. If you don't have an extra space, do you have to put it? No. All right. Where do I need my lines to make my box? What's a number that needs a line, Ava? What's one of my numbers that needs a line to make the box with? So if we look up at the top again, what does it say we make it with our box? The LQ, the median, and the UQ, right? And if you'll look, guys, when I'm doing my work, do y'all see how I circle each of those? To me, that makes it easy. If it's circled, it makes the box. So what number needs a line to make a box, Ava? Yeah, so any of these in a circle. So we can do 35 because that's my LQ. So I'm going to draw a line at 35 because that's making a box. My median I've also circled. Guys, y'all notice every single time I've circled those 3? And every single time, so those 3 are what make a box. So my 37 also needs a line to make a box. Now 37.5 has to have a line. Did I put 37.5 on my number line?
No.
Very good, Kate. It's between 37 and 38. So you just have to be able to know, okay, I'm going to put a line right there in between those 2 numbers. Okay, so now I can connect those all on the top and connect them all on the bottom. Okay, give me a number for a whisker. A number for a whisker. Ella. $38. So 38, that's my greatest number. So that's like a really close whisker, but still a whisker. All right, another number for a whisker, Gabriella? 32. So going all the way down here to 32. Now this whisker is a lot longer, so it's kind of like a lopsided kitty cat. That's fine though. Okay. Even though this one is just as long, are these 2 lines still equal? Yeah, so even though this one's really long, the long line and the short line are still technically equal. All right? So guys, for your homework, you're finishing the rest of that worksheet. All right, we've done 3 of them together.